Something I've noticed is that a lot of newer people find the contribution system quite struggling. In this video I will be explaining the basic of the points. Some about what they are, how to obtain them and what to spend them on. So first let's get started on what they are. Contribution in Black Desert are a way to increase your quality of life in the game. You can invest it to gain items while AFK or to rent items to make your life some easier. It's quite an important part of your gameplay, as it's mostly underestimated how much benefit you can take out of having enough of them to spend. Also, it is very important to have most of them spent, even if you don't really need that last worker node, as it's still some kind of income, even if it's a low income. As you can see, I have 0 points left to spend, as I've spent them all to make it that tad bit more convenient for my playstyle. If you leave them unspent, it will basically be a lost income. So now that we had a look at what they are, it's time to take a look at how to obtain them. So the first way to do so is through quests. When you complete a quest, there's often a metal symbol in the reward box. This represents contribution XP. If you look at the contribution points in the top of your screen, you will see there's a percentage next to the number. This is because the points do not just go up, but they go up the same way your combat level does. The other way of obtaining contribution points is through life skilling. The byproducts you get from alchemy and cooking can provide you with 900 contribution XP. 900 is quite a lot, as the highest quests normally give you 300 contribution XP. This is why most people use life skilling as the way to power level their contribution. After you spent your contribution point, it is of course possible to re-obtain them. Nodes, rental and houses can all be reclaimed when you don't use them anymore. Once you don't use those point sinks anymore, it's better to reclaim them, as you can invest them in some other stuff. Lastly, when obtaining contribution points, there's something called a soft cap. This is a term you will see quite a lot in the game, and this is a point where obtaining new points will become harder and harder. I've put the picture which I took from Incendar on screen. As you can see, it all goes in jumps. With the soft caps, we mean the big XP gaps, as you can see at 349 350 and 399 400. So now that we've talked about how to obtain the contribution points, we still want to spend them. So the first thing we can spend them on are nodes. With these nodes you can set up a node network in which these nodes can be used for several things. So the first thing and the most common thing is a worker node. This allows you to assign a worker to a node and let it collect the drops from that node for you. This will be brought to your city storage immediately when your worker is finished. Then after that you have the connecting nodes. This is mostly done to set up routes for trading or to connect nodes for further away worker nodes. If a node you want is too far away, you need to connect it, so you take the nodes in between without investing in their worker site. Otherwise you can just connect them so you can start trading between the connected places. Another thing you can invest your points in is the renting of items. So there's quite a diverse amount of items you can rent, from armor to musical instruments to quality of life stuff. My favorite is the bank chest, and I'll use this as a quick example. So you can rent it from a storage keeper for 10 points, which allows you to access the bank straight from your housing in a city. This adds some quality of life to cooking and alchemy especially. Also, you don't have to worry when spending these points, because you can just return the item and you will get your points fully refunded. Then the last thing in Black Desert you can do with the points are houses. Houses in Black Desert are quite a hugely used feature. You can spend your points to rent houses in the cities and villages, to use them as storage, residence, workshops and more. For example, I like to do cooking. So my main town is Heidel, as it has a really big house and it's not too expensive. So I rented all storage, a residence and some worker lodging so I can build up my main town. But then I wanted to make a switch to do training overnight and alchemy during the day. So I also rented a part of Calphion for storage and horse ranches. While doing alchemy, I need alchemy utensils. So I connected Heidel up with Glish to rent a house in Glish for a workshop there to create alchemy utensils. As you see, houses can be taken everywhere where needed, and it is a huge part of your money making network. Try to adjust this to your nodes and your favorite thing in the game to make everything a lot more easy. Well, that's about everything there is to contribution points. If you have any questions or anything to note on the video, please let me know.